Do you love witty banter between characters as much as I do? If so, then you'll want to stick around, because today I'm discussing how to write engaging banter between characters. Let's get started! Hey guys, Nour here, and welcome back to my channel. For those visiting for the first time, hello! I'm the fantasy author of the novel Divinity Falling. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe for weekly writing advice videos. So banter is great to include into your story because it can make scenes more exciting. Plus, banter is a great way to show off different character dynamics. For example, two best friends bantering looks completely different from two love interests bantering. Or how about two siblings bantering over who's the most brilliant? Or two co-workers bantering over a stressful situation. So by including banter in your story, you not only create engaging scenes, but also show readers what characters are like with one another and what sorts of relationships they have. And here's how to go about writing banter. Number 1, use banter to show that characters are observant of each other. A lot of banter is just knowing the other person. Because if you know them well, you could tease them about the things they like or don't like. For example, let's say a character notices that their roommate is obsessed with collecting mugs. They could say something like, "Did you steal all those mugs from the mug convention?" This comment is definitely teasing in a lighthearted way, but it also shows that this character wants to learn more about the other character and notices things about them. You could use this in all kinds of character relationships. And this is even more exciting in my opinion when you're writing about love interests, because you'll want these characters to be observant of one another and show that through their banter and remarks. Number 2, create subtext. What isn't said during banter is just as exciting as what's being said. Let's picture two love interests. These characters like each other, but they're not ready to admit that because they're not sure how the other feels. So the perfect way to test the waters is through banter. They'll tease each other, but what they won't say is that they like each other. So you'll want their banter to hint at what they're not saying. And this same rule applies to all sorts of relationships. It could even apply to parents bantering with their children. Think about it. People don't always say what's on their mind. We all have some sort of secrets or things we want to keep to ourselves. So banter is also a great way to tiptoe around a subject or keep certain information hidden from the other person who's trying to get the information out of us. Number 3, show characters' unique personalities. Banter comes in so many different forms. You have dry humor banter, sarcastic banter, flirty banter, goofy banter, know-it-all banter, and the list goes on. And you could show off characters' personalities by giving them a specific style of bantering. For instance, one character might be sarcastic while another character might be silly. Here's an example. Two friends are talking and one of them says, I know, I'm so beautiful, you wish you had a photo of me in your house." Then the other character responds, "Yes, I've been wanting to customize my doormat with a picture." Both characters are obviously bantering, but one goes about it with a silly remark, while the other character is sarcastic and jokey. And from this dialogue, we get a sense for how these characters typically engage with one another and what sort of relationship they have. And number 4, make the dialogue lighthearted, not mean. Bantering doesn't mean characters are awful to each other. Don't get me wrong, characters can be awful and still banter. But bantering is no longer bantering if it's outright malicious. At that point, it's just verbal abuse. So be careful how you go about it. You want the banter to be teasing or funny, but friendly. I know some of you are going to wonder how to go about that when it comes to enemies to lovers. Well, your characters can certainly start out as enemies who hate each other. But if they're attracted to each other, their banter should be more teasing and flirtatious and less angry and rude. In fact, through their banter, you could slowly thaw the ice between them. Again, this goes back to creating subtext. These enemies are attracted to each other, but don't want to admit that because they want to hate each other. So their banter will have this subtext that they're into each other, but they'll keep trying to dodge that fact. So that's what I have for you today. I'd love to know, do any of your characters banter? Let me know in the comments. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I put out weekly writing advice videos that will take your story to the next level. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media to see what I'm up to from day to day and to chat with me. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frayne, Alan J. Early, and Noah Kovanti from my shout out tier over on Patreon, as well as all my amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. I really appreciate you. And remember, Nour for president.